Hello guys, hello traders, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be giving you setups that I hope are going to happen this week. More setups. Remember, I gave you setups yesterday and I'm going to give you setups today, setups that are almost about to happen. So watch the video until the end in order to see all the setups. I have around 6 setups on the 4-hour time frame. I think they can also work on the 1-hour time frame for the traders. So watch the video until the end. You're going to be looking at the setups and also tell me what you think about them. Setups, they are going to be good setups, so you'll tell me what you think about them. And also we are going to be going through the process of me trying to identify all the setups on my chart. And also, if you can see, the layout and appearance of my chart has changed simply because most of you have been requesting me to have this white background chart, the canvas, and I've not been wanting to put it there. Why? Simply because it is too bright, so it affects my eyes. However, I decided to put it there because I found a way of dimming my laptop such that I can get a decent light. So I hope you guys who have been asking for this white background are happy. Finally, I've made it to your request. So stick around as we're going to be dissecting all the setups that I have and on different markets, and also the breakdown of how to identify the setups on your charts. Also, if you want the settings, exact settings of my chart and how I'm able to have these candlesticks and also the price movements, you can comment in the comment section below, and then I'll send you a screenshot of all my exact settings. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the charts. Also, people who have not subscribed to the channel, guys, subscribe to the channel as we are growing to 600 subscribers. So subscribe to the channel. Let's go straight forward to the charts and then we shall dissect those markets. So first we shall start with the USD card. So USD card was dropping here, then reacted from, I think, a demand zone on the left. It is far. I will not go there, it's just going to waste time. So reacted from a demand zone on the left, went up, breaking this structure, came back to this same demand zone, reacted very well and shot up some, I think, around 100 and something pips, shot up, and then it came back to this same zone, reacted again and shot up, breaking this high. So USD card was in an uptrend and is still in an uptrend, making high highs, higher lows, higher high, breaking this previous high. Now this is where we are buying from USD card. Let me just delete the things and then I show you how I'm able to come up with this setup. So now price broke this structure, but this is where the basis is. We have previous area of resistance, then it was broken. So if it is broken, it is going to turn into support, but best as if it has a demand zone in that area, then it is a strong area of interest. So we shall just mark the zone very well like that. Mark the zone very well. And also you can turn on the line chart in order for you to see those this is resistance, broken, turns into support. So you turn on the line chart for you in order for you to see these areas that I'm talking about. So after, you can come to your candlesticks. So now you have two confluences in this area. You have three. One, we are in an uptrend, making high highs, higher lows, high high. Two, we have a demand zone here. Three, we have an area of resistance that was broken, which will turn into support. That is 3. So 4 also, you can have, there's a double bottom here, and you know what happens in the double bottom. So people who have big accounts, this trade is already into play. You can enter, put your stop losses slightly below, that is around 30 pips, and then we are targeting the previous high, but the trade is already in play, but it is not far. Here you can just enter because it is not far. It is going to buy up to around there. Yes, price action might just fail and go through down here. However, we are ready for anything. Risk what you can lose and then target the previous high, which is this one here. I believe price is going to buy up to there. If you want to see the double bottom, just come back to the line chart. You see this is 1, this is 2. I'm sure if you put RSI, you're going to see a divergence there. So this shows that we are going to the upside. We are going to the upside. So if you can enter right now, you're safe. If you can't enter now because you don't have a big account, then you have definitely have to wait. However, this trade is already in play, and this is where I see the target. So that is all for USD card. Let's proceed. Let's proceed to USD euro. This is euro GBP. So euro GBP, just to give you a background, euro GBP was making higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then it left a demand zone around this area here. If you can see it very well, let me just mark it for you. Always mark the candle very well and then extend the box tool to the left. So they left a clean demand zone around that area. So this was a rally base, but the base was too long. Rally, good move away, clean demand zone. There is liquidity down here, so you expect that if price comes back to this area, it is going to be buying, and indeed that is what happened. Price came back to the area and then bought to 100 pips, which is a 1:6. You risked $17 to make $100 with a very big risk to reward. This is $170 to make $1,000. Very good risk to reward, very good risk to reward. So after, euro GBP proceeded to drop and broke this structure here, went down. So after going down, from then it has been making this is low, high, lower high, lower low, breaking both this structure and this one, and then price tried to come to react from this zone. It reacted a little bit from here, but then it was not enough to push price action down. So what did it do? It broke this previous higher low to make a higher high, and then there is liquidity down here. So what do we expect? We expect price to buy from this good demand zone. However, the zone is big on the 4 hours, so just drop down, try to refine it anymore further, drop down and refine it, but don't refine it too low, because if you bring it here, it's going to give you a good risk to reward, but chances are high you might miss the trade. However, let me show on the 1 hour. So I think that is the last zone to buy from. That is the last zone that we have. So your entry should be like this. Stop losses 18 pips, and then if it is 18, I normally round off to 20 just to be safe, and then target a 1:2 to the upside. That is 1:2, around 45 pips, but I know it is going to go beyond that, so let's just wait. That is euro GBP, so I expect euro GBP to react from this area and buy off massively. Very good demand zone. Okay, so let's proceed. These are the setups, guys, I'm showing you and how to identify them. So let's proceed. Remember, if you want my exact settings of the chart, just comment in the comment section, and then I'll take a screenshot and send you. So now we have this is euro NZD, euro Aussie, euro New Zealand dollar. So now euro New Zealand dollar has been making, this was higher high, higher low, and then a higher high. However, in this area here where it made a higher high, there is a good demand zone, 2 incision candles and 1 good move away engulfing candle, and then there is also an area of support turns into resistance, turns into support. So we are just going to mark that zone like this, like that, and then remember this is an area of support and resistance. This is, just go to line chart, this is resistance, broken turns into support. So what are our entry models? Simple, put your entries there, stop loss slightly below, I think you'll make it 50 pips, and then target the previous high, which is 249 pips. So this is a good zone to buy from. We are just waiting for price to come and tap into our zone, and then we buy to the upside. So this is a clear setup, clean and clear setup. If you already. You can wait for it. I think tonight or tomorrow this setup might happen. So sometimes we can always lose, but don't worry, that is how trading is. Sometimes you miss out on the setups, sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to miss, but remember, your risk to reward plays a big role in you being profitable. So let us proceed, and then I have this one here which is almost happening. So I'll just clear everything, take you through the setup. Don't worry, I always mark them to let them remind me. So we have what here? We have price. This is GBP AUD. Price has been going higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So now price has left a good demand zone here. Good demand zone here, here. Like that. You see that setup? Very clean and clear setup. And also on that demand zone, we also have support and resistance. This is previous resistance that is broken, so it turns into support on that demand zone. So this is the entry model. All these trades I'm showing you, these setups I'm showing you, have not yet happened, so you can take advantage of them. So the stop loss here, you can just put 60 pips, and then target 1:2. That is 1:4, 250 pips to the upside. So price, we expect price to come and tap into this area and it goes up. Why? Because you have support and resistance, also demand and supply, and we are in an uptrend, so three confluences there. So we expect price to buy after reacting from this zone. I hope you're together up to that. So I'm going to proceed to the next setup, which is GBP AUD. But now GBP AUD, same thing as GBP NZD, same thing as GBP AUD. However, I know it might cause a good reaction because I see the way it is coming. This is a beautiful way. I know it might cause a good reaction. There's also support and resistance in that area. So, but I don't know why I'm skeptical about this trade. Also support, this is resistance, broken, turns into support, and we go up. Yes, like that. So I'm expecting price to come, jam in this area, and then buy. Yes. Stop loss is also 60 pips, and then target the previous high, which is 250 pips to the upside. So let's just wait and see what is going to happen to that area. So we will proceed to the next setup. Next setup, this is NZD card. So NZD card has been falling, and now this is the power of supply and demand. Let me give you a clue on how supply and demand works and is effective. So price came and made lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, leaving a demand zone here which pushed price action to the upside. Price tried to drop, reacted from this zone, this demand here, and then bought massively to the upside. Let me just mark it for you here. Staying here. So price reacted from this area here. You see, that was rally, base, rally, breaking this previous structure. So price reacted from that zone and bought massively. So you'd risk 21 pips. That one I always remind to 25 to make 100. What a good risk to reward, guys. Risking only 21, I would move this one to 25 to make 100 pips to the upside, guys. What a good risk to reward. So now price went up. After going up, it left a demand zone down. Clean demand zone down here. You see that zone? So price went up, broke this structure, but with a wick. No, it did not break. Broke these structures here, so it came back, dropping, and tapped into the zone, tried to go up. There was no momentum, dropped back into the zone, and then went up. Look at the buy from that area, guys. Look at buy from that area. Stop loss 25 pips like that, and then target the previous high 100. That is another 1:4. You got a 1:4 here. Price came back, gave you another 1:4. Now this is where it becomes interesting. After price started moving upside, there was a supply zone on the left, this one here. Just to mark it well and stretch it to the left. Look at what happened. As long as price tapped into that zone, so the thing is just you've been trading from zone to zone, from zone to zone. So as long as price touched into that zone, immediately it started dropping. So stop loss 25 pips, just like here, 25 here, 25, even up there, 25 pips. The moment price tapped into the zone, it started dropping massively. Your target would be 100 pips, but this one went up to 150. That is risk reward of 1 is to 5.9. Guys, what else would you want? Supply and demand is the way to go. So after that, now this is our trade: drop, base, drop, and price left a clean demand supply zone. The thing, a clean supply zone here. Look at that one. Look at that supply zone, guys. Look at that supply zone, very clean. So you enter like this, stop losses slightly above. Now that one I'll go for 20 pips, and then target the previous low, which is 100 pips. Target 100 pips to the downside there. That is 1:5. Price is going to come, tap to this area and drop. 1:5. Very clean zone, very clean and clear zone. You see, very clean setup, guys, very clean setup. So let's proceed to the last one. I've given you 6 setups, and this is the 7th setup. And remember, guys, they can all win, they can all lose. No, they cannot all lose, they can all win, but sometimes some are going to lose. Remember, the risk to reward is the key. Risk to reward is the key. I have given you 6 setups. This is the 7th one. You can lose all the 7. You can lose 5 setups, but if you win 2 with a good risk to reward, you're going to recover all the losses you make and you'll be in profit. So just make sure your risk to reward is making sense. Okay, so now let's proceed. So this is NZD JPY. So NZD JPY price was dropping. Now NZJPY disappointed me. Price was dropping, dropped a very good drop, leaving a good supply zone to the upside. This was a very good supply zone, guys. If price had come back to react to this motherfucker up there, you would make a very good zone, very good zone. So price just had to come back, tap here, and look at the drop, guys. It would have been around how many pips? Risking only 28, that is 30, and then the drop would have been 300 pips, guys. The drop would have been 300 pips, 1:10. However, this motherfucker did not reach up. Decided to drop from there, which is okay. Sometimes you're going to miss trades with these beautiful setups, but you don't have to worry. All you have to do is be patient and wait for the next setup. Okay, so now how do we get this trade here? So now there are 2 things on this setup. You have this area here. You see, very clean area there, which price is almost hitting, and then you have another area up. You have another area to the upside. So now we have 2 zones. So which one do we use? The second zone, however, has support and resistance. The second zone, you see, it has support and resistance. The first zone is good and is extreme demand, which ideally we should be selling from. However, since the market is on a downtrend and has broken structure from this point here, this is the selling area. that we are going to sell from. So guys, I'm giving you these setups free of charge, but this one is risky, so only risk 1% of your account. This one is risky. It is going to give you 1:3. However, it is risky. Only risk 1% of your account. So that is all guys for today. We shall come here tomorrow or the other day to analyze how the trades played out, and also watch out for them and see what you can get out of them. You can use confirmation entries, or you can just put your sell and buy limits and wait for whatever is going to happen. Guys, alright, so if you have not subscribed to the channel, guys, subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're new here, kindly like the video if you have learned something out of it. I'll stop there for today. Let's meet in another video. Bye.